So please make sure that phone's switched off. Gary Hawkins, 8. Eight. 9. 16. 17. 24. Yeah. 25. 32. 33. 40. 41. 49. 56. 57. 64. 65. Yeah.
Bad contacts, but he wanted a good start, as Dennis referred to, and he's not going to get it.
71. 72.
'Come up a little bit short.
79.
Give himself a chance for the century break, but with the way the Reds are, very difficult. But he will be trying hard because he is closing in on Stephen Hendry's record. He's had 742 centuries, Ronnie.
80.
Yeah, I think Stephen's record's 775, if I'm not mistaken. Good effort, but he needs some sort of trick shot or a double to. Well, there's the ball. Wait, oh, hang on. Oh, not quite. The best possible start for the defending champion. He only needed one chance, and with that break of 83, he extends his lead. It's now 7-2.
Final session.
Game 10. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Maybe it's Steve Davis's fault. They're a bit nippier, these pockets. So, Ronnie, Gets frame 10 underway. Looks quite comfortable with himself, and even backstage, I know he's been disappointed with one or two of his performances, but he looks as though he's up for it. And why wouldn't he be? Chance to equal Steve Davis' modern day 6 World Championships, and of course aiming at Stephen Hendry's 7, apart from other records.
Well, he's pushed one over that left corner pocket, but the black's a bit awkward. Pink tied up. And there you can see the pocket. Yeah, you see that angle there is the rubber underneath the cloth as it goes round in. It just continues round into the pocket. Many years ago, that rubber was shaved slightly so that the ball would hit the corner of the pocket and drop in. But that's not the case these days. With some of the club tables, if you look at the pocket, if you play, you'll see that the rubber is slightly shaved as right in the corner of the pocket.
And
of course, they do have templates that fit into the pocket, and they must fit in. That's how they decide how big the pocket opening is.
7.
But only a fraction can make such a difference.
Just asking Leo Scullion to clean the cue ball. I think that's just giving Ronnie a little bit of thinking time. He's on this red. He'll be thinking sooner rather than later. He needs to bring other reds into play. It's the type of pack you maybe like to do it off the blue.
15.
A little bit straighter than he would have liked. So having to play for the loose red, and as I say, if he gets the angle there, if he has a choice.
22.
No, decided on the black, but if he's straight again, he'll be wishing he'd have played for the blue. Not going to leave the next red too easy. He's having a look now. He's looking to see well, there is a red on the right-hand side of the cluster. Goes to the far left corner. That's about as good as he can play for, I think. Very straight. So playing for that red to the far right corner needs to slow up, otherwise he'll be... Well, it is the far right corner. Or the far left corner. Got a choice of 2. No problem. And now a nice angle on the black. And I think he would be going into them this time. As I say, it's the type of pack you'd like to go into off the blue, but I don't think he'll refuse this opportunity.
Yeah, if he hits the reds. Yeah. Just to the left would be ideal. He plays this very well. It's more of a stun shot than screwing into them, because the white can come back towards the black. But if he just gets that with a stun, it really will open the reds up, or just the one on the left even. That'll do very nicely.
Yeah, as you said, Dennis, and because they were loose, there was a few loose reds. You didn't have to hit it with a lot of pace, just controlled cannon.
39.
And, okay, you might feel he's not spread the balls far and wide, but it's in a situation now where if he pots one, he clears the pocket for another. that was his brain ticking over there, I think, just thinking, right, pot the black, play for the red in the same pocket. And this is where he's a delight to watch.
46.
It's nice to see him enjoying the game. He brings so much pleasure, it's got to be said, for any of us who've ever played snooker. It's just a joy to watch. Disappointed with that, though. He's overscrewed that.
Still taking it on, though. It's much thinner, but he can still get into the pink here. And that might be a problem now. I don't think a red goes into the corner. Maybe the outside
52.
one pots. The one that's just near the pink spot. Yeah, just enough room for that. He almost went into the middle pocket. He put everything into the pot there and forgot about the white. He can get through to the yellow if he wishes, or he can just put a colour, say if he's got a 53-point advantage. But he does seem to have got his focus back. I know he played really well against Sean Murphy, but there were signs that he was just losing a little bit of focus. You can tell sometimes with Ronnie's expression, but he's looks in great mental state, should I say.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 53.
Well, listen, Dennis, you know better than anybody, you know, if you're not happy here and you know, the game's hard enough as it is, isn't it? And if you're struggling a little bit with your form. But yeah, I think that Sean Murphy result was a big boost for Ronnie. And to win with a session to spare was a real bonus.
Yeah, just going back to Barry Hawkins, you know, I mean, what he did in the last 2 frames against Dominic Dale after losing 7 frames in a row, you know, was brilliant, and it will have taken quite a bit out of him. But the way Ronnie's cueing, this could be a very tough session for Barry Hawkins, because that type of shot tells you that you're cueing really smoothly.
Yeah, looks an obvious cannon, the red on the right-hand side of the cluster. Just nudging on, he didn't get into it enough. That's a little bit careless from Ronnie. He won't be happy with that one.
8.
Wanted to catch that red full ball or half ball the other side. So another frame winning opportunity, and he's let it slip.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 8.
So Barry Hawkins not out of this frame yet. This really would be a frame against the head, so to speak, Dennis.
Well, he's taken the opportunity of bringing the red into play, the one that Ronnie knocked safe. This will move a few of the reds. He'll be hoping to knock another one onto a cushion while playing the safety shot here. He might even be able to take a pot on. And there it is. A classic shot to nothing there. He had the safety shot. Now that he knocked the red in, he can put Barry in trouble.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
I'll tell you what, he's hard to play against if he starts knocking those in.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that was a tremendous pot. And as you said, it was the classic shot for nothing, because if it doesn't go in, look where the cue ball finished. And once you get this type of shot, and if you can get them with regularity, even if you're not on a colour, we know what comes next. And Barrett has got to get this safe. And this is not guaranteed. And we know this misrule rears its head. 62 points behind, 67 remaining. So now 66 points behind with 67 remaining. Ronnie will have it replaced. If he doesn't hit it this time, he'll need a snooker. Another 4 points away and he'll be 70 behind with 67 remaining.
Yeah, they used to call it a deliberate miss, but how would you be trying not to hit a red when you know you're going to need a snooker? So they changed that to the miss rule. So very well played.
Well done. Little tap on the table from Ronnie as well. That's nice to see. In appreciation, but Ronnie just needs one red. Probably wouldn't play it here, I think. Just tuck this red to the side cushion and take the cue ball to balk. Well, that's a strange way of playing it, but obviously felt being on the right-hand side of the table, he made it a little bit more difficult for Barry to play safe. Not quite certain about the merit of that shot, but it was his choice, and who'd argue with Ronnie? So Ronnie's had a good look at these three reds in the middle of the table. I don't think it's a three-ball plant, but the left hand of the reds, he will be hoping to knock to the top cushion. Just needs a good cue ball. Trying to swing it round of two cushions. Trying to get in behind the yellow. It's not bad. Great length. And he's knocked a red that's close to this right corner, which Barry can't get through to. Right behind the line of the shot, and that's Barry's view. We'll give you a spin, and there you go. Decent cue ball, this. That was a good shot from Barry. To not leave anything easy. He's played an excellent shot. And Ronnie has got a little bit of a problem. Barry at the moment, 66 points behind, 67 remaining. If he does get a chance, he needs blacks with these remaining reds and all the 6 colours. Big ask. Ronnie may be forced into playing a pot here. He only needs the red. And the safety is by no means guaranteed. Well, here's half a chance. It's a big shot, big moment in the frame, but the type of frame we've seen so many times, if a player can steal it, it can turn a session at least. So a big, big shot this now for Barry. Great pot. He's giving himself a chance now. But he needs blacks off every red to be able to win by 1.
Barry Hawkins, 1.
And now he needs a snooker. 65 points behind, 59 remaining.
Quiet, please.
Tough.
One.
It's not a nice seat that at the moment for Barry Hawkins, Dennis, is it? Alone with your thoughts and not getting a lot of table time.
9.
Yeah, you can see this semi-final slipping away frame by frame, but you've got to hang in there. He knows what Dominic Dale did against him. And you've got to be thinking to yourself, well, there's only one player who can be at the table. So if you keep knocking
60.
them in, he can do what Ronnie's been doing to him. It's a big ask of him.
70.
You got to have that hope, and he's got the ability to do it if he gets a chance. He finished his match with Dominic Dale with a couple of frame-winning efforts, so we know he's quite capable. But 8-2 down against the defending champion. It's not looking good.
22. Okay. 23.
Frame well and truly over, of course. Just a case of whether Ronnie can add to his
28.
first contribution, which was 53. Could better that here.
30.
Well, not quite. The green hasn't dropped, but that's more than enough. So another frame. Okay, he didn't have many chances there, Barry Hawkins, but one sometimes is all you're going to get against Ronnie O'Sullivan. Barry Hawkins falls further behind. Now 6 behind. 8-2, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, Ronnie looks in superb form this morning, and when Ronnie O'Sullivan starts knocking in the long pots, you know you're in trouble. This was a pretty straightforward one. It's classed as a long pot, but it was quite an easy red. This one here, nice long one up into the corner, judged nicely. But this was the shot for me. He cued this beautifully near the cushion there, and couldn't have played it any better. And of course this was the one that clinched the frame. I mean, that is a superb, as we said at the time, classic shot to nothing. And we can give you some of the stats of how this match is panning out. But the one thing that Barry Hawkins has got to do, JV, is he lost 7 frames in a row. He's 7 frames behind, and he lost 7 frames against Dominic Dale. You've got to be thinking to yourself, well, if Dominic Dale can win 7 frames in a row against me, I could possibly do it. But I mean, will he be able to just make a mini comeback?
Well, he's just got to take every opportunity that comes his way.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Frame 11, Barry Hawkins to break.
We've got a lot of snooker fans around, and I managed to play a frame against this gentleman, Paul Hollywood, a great British bake-off star, delightful fella, and not a bad snooker player. I think he bakes slightly better than he pots. A great character. Oh, this red's going right. It might go in the pocket. Well, when things are going well for you, that's the type of thing that happens. When they're not. And he's on the yellow. He's got an angle on the yellow. You can get up to the reds near the black here. Well, they've got the one in the middle of the table, but in a couple of shots' time, he'll be on the 2 reds near the black. They're not perfectly placed.
I'd like to see that, what we consider a fluke here, because I didn't see Ronnie apologise. Did he think it possible plant? No, there's no way. So he must have apologised and put his hand up. He would normally. I just didn't see it.
Four.
Let's have a look at this shot here. If he pulls this off, what's the positional side of this? Overdone it. Bit unlucky.
9.
Yeah, I like you thought he may play for the red that was just to the right of the black there, but yeah, as you say, overdid it. And that red was a little
Ronnie
bit
Sullivan, 9.
too difficult to cope with. Always are when you're playing into a blind pocket. You can see the cue ball, you see the object ball, but the pocket's out of vision, so you've got to pick that spot, as you can see. Ronnie couldn't see the pocket, wasn't in his eye line. So for once, Barry has seen Ronnie get in and not score a lot. In the 2 frames this morning, Ronnie in the first frame had a break of 83. The last frame he had a breaks of 53 and 30. So not getting a lot of table time, isn't Barry? Just 9 points to his name this morning so far. Bit thin on this.
You can get past the pink just to glance off the reds here. That's pretty good. Very well played. Yeah, when we talk about a blind pocket, we can show you here. He's trying to cut this into the left corner. Now, if Hawkeye shows you, that's the potting angle. You can't see the pocket in your eye line, so that's what we mean when we say he's cutting it into a blind pocket. I mean, the thing is, Ronnie's got such a good tactical game as well. Ronnie was down looking over Barry's shoulder there. There's 2 reds. I don't know if they're a plant into the right corner or whether the other red's in the road, but he can't get through to it anyway. So we can only see this 1 red, and it's not the sort of shot you'd want to be taking on. There's no color available. Yeah, well played. Lots of check side there. So they're just going to the left of the pocket, but if you're in the right position, you could squeeze that and make the plant. But how would you get into the right position with all those reds blocking them?
Well, Ronnie's left a pot to the right corner, but what a superb length of cue ball, and that's the problem for Barry coming to the table. If he could get his hand on the table, he'd knock this red in, no problem whatsoever. But tight under the baulk cushion, different matter. Well, he's given it plenty of thought. It looks like he's taking this pot on. If he does, he needs to get it. It's very dangerous. Now he's played the safety. But he had to be very, very thin.
Foul and a miss. Ronnie Sullivan, 4.
Ronnie may not have it replaced because, oh yes, he is doing. He just sees it as a very difficult safety shot for Barry. The only reason I thought Ronnie may not have it replaced, there was a chance that with him, with his hand on the table, to pot this red that Barry's trying to play thin off. We'll get a warning now.
Foul and a miss.
I'd come around and have a look at the possible plant now, Johnny. He did have a glance at it, but he's got to hit a red now, otherwise he loses the frame. I mean, Ronnie can take that red on, as you mentioned, and he probably will this time. Because there is a path round the back of the black, you would feel.
Yeah, the thing is with that plant we looked at, you'd have to hit the first red on the right-hand side, as the player looks at it, to push the second red to the left, and there's no way at the moment from this angle, but you can pot the loose red. Ronnie fancies it now.
One.
Nicely controlled, positional shot. Give a little bit extra so he'd be on baulk colour. Didn't want to risk everything by trying to get a nice angle on the blue.
I do love that side-on shot. It shows you how long the snooker table is. You know, it's 12 foot by 6 foot, and sometimes it looks smaller on the television, but that side-on shot shows you exactly how big the table is in comparison to the player. I think people, when they come to the Crucible for the first time, they say, oh, I didn't realize the table was so big. Well, look at this shot. And he's not straight, he can get out on the black.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be unlucky at first, didn't you? He just flicked the red, but the red just bounced back off the cushion. If we look at this, he didn't want to knock this red tight to the cushion, but it went to the cushion, but bounced out, and as you say, then he's got the perfect angle. Now, you could definitely think about playing this plant, because, as I say, if you hit the, as Ronnie will look at it, if you hit the first red on the right-hand side, it'll push the second one to the left, and they're so close together it can be made quite easily. Might decide to save it for an emergency.
Eleven.
Come a little bit straight on this red to the left middle. You'd like to more of an angle, so in potting it, he could get on the blue but be a little bit further away from the cushion.
12.
But that's where he's so good, isn't it, Dennis? He plays his little stun run through just to widen the angle, makes it look so easy, but you know, you've got to have a good touch to play them. Well, this plant will be no more because the red, the left hand of the two reds,
7.
That's the one he's played on. Think he may have to go back up for the blue. Don't think he can play for the black off this.
18.
He didn't get into that one at all. He won't be happy with that. It's difficult now. Look at the cue power he's generated there. What a shot this is. I mean, he made that look easy. That was so difficult from that angle.
23.
All the top spin inside on it, sent it right around the table. That's a little beauty. Just looking at the tip, sometimes the little fibers are just, you can see it when you look down the cue. Have a little
24.
bit of very fine sandpaper just to smooth the edges of the tip.
A little smile there from Ronnie. Just overhit that a little bit, but to the extent he may decide to play the cannon here. If he played the cannon on the pink, he'd still leave the red to the right middle. So you wouldn't have to play it with a lot of pace, but if you got the cannon on the pink, he'd have a red to the right middle. He's in the position where he thinks there's enough loose reds, don't really have to go into them hard and trust to luck. So control cannon. Well, in the end, he decided to play it with pace. And the question, well, he's got a red to the right corner. He'd be slightly hampered queuing.
29.
Didn't want to risk just playing the cannon on the pink. As long as he keeps control of this red, I think it's the one on the extreme right of the table. I don't think he can get through to the one he was looking at there. So just get, well, he cues it so nicely, doesn't he? Awkward cueing it appeared. But no problem.
30.
And now you wouldn't expect him to not take full advantage of this opportunity. This looks like another frame that Barry Hawkins is not going to get much of a chance in.
35.
It's hard for him at the moment.
36.
And I think what you alluded to as well, he's only just a great potter break builder. It's just Ronnie's tactical game can freeze players out. You know, I mean, you say that about Steve Davis. You'd never have said that about Stephen Hendry, for example, would you? That his safety play would freeze a player out. Stephen was a potting machine, a break building machine, but Ronnie's got an all-round game that you felt even if he wasn't at his best, he could win matches.
Yeah, Stephen Hendry's great line used to be he thought safety was overrated. But that was the way he played the game, and that was why he became one of the greatest cueists of all time.
50.
In fact, I thought he would remain the greatest cueist of all time, but I think Ronnie may just have overtaken him.
55.
Frame already safe.
56. $63. 64.
Well, he's just cueing so well here. He's back at his best. And he's doing what comes natural to him. He's made 7 centuries so far this year at the Crucible.
79.
This would be his 8th. And it would be 48 in
80.
total. We had 55 centuries last year here. Long way short of the, I think the record's 80 or 81 in the
85.
But this has been
87.
flawless. Yeah,
90.
it looks very, very comfortable out there this morning.
$94. 99.
Century number 8 for Ronnie O'Sullivan. And that is Ronnie's 8th century in this year's World Championship. The rocket is on fire at the moment, and he extends his lead even further. He now leads 9 frames to 2. Well, he looks in great form, and some of the shots, we've got another couple of shots for you here. I mean, this one here, the position, he was playing for the red that's near the cushion, and well, JV may have thought maybe he just flicked it and ran out of position. He was playing to drop in behind it, so we'll show you the shot. So he stuns it in with a little bit of left-hand side, twice across the table. He was playing into the gap there. It was still a great shot, and when he flicked the red, we thought it was going to be dead straight, but he had the angle, and he went on to get nicely on the black. But the one just off straight, John, this was some shot with, you know, top spin and lots of side on it.
Yeah, absolutely superb, and you could see the way he had to get it through there. The cue came off his hand because he was really having to get that cue through, get that top spin on, as you say, just a little bit of side, and found himself on that awkward red. So one more frame before the mid-session interval. And it's been plain sailing, it has to be said, at the moment for Ronnie. He's not being put under any pressure. 94% pot success. Barry now down to 84%. That won't win him this match, or most matches played at the Crucible. And the points, well, as the scoreline suggests, Ronnie running away with it. Tap on the table there from Ronnie, so that tells us it's a good safety from Barry. But Barry needs an opportunity, needs to score heavily, just for his own self-esteem, you feel, at the moment. He's a bit player.
Foul, I miss.
Well, that come off very square.
Barry Hawkins, 6.
Leo Scullion, our referee, as the crowd laugh. And Barry, nice to see he's still got his sense of humour. I mean, he's 9-2 behind. He can't get in amongst the balls. So I suppose, I think Ronnie is just a readjustment. He landed in the side of the Reds. I don't know whether he played that last shot playing ball or whether it just come off square. Little touch of left-hand side. We'll take him past the pink. Oh, now then. He may have made a mistake. He hit it a little harder than he intended. So this is the first chance that Barry's had, really, since he missed that fairly easy red. I think it was the opening frame.
One.
Well, he's just pushed that other red safe, which I'll just show you. I'm just flicking the reds and putting Barry in, but when he played that cannon, he flicked the red safe. That needs to keep going. He's underhit that, I think. Let's have a look at Barry's reaction.
8.
Yeah, he's underhit that. And there you see it. He wanted to be further to the right, pot the red, cannon into the other reds, give himself a chance, but I suppose he's out of stroke at the moment. He's had very little table time.
Barry Hawkins, 8.
Further out into the table, he left it a long way short. Well, I say a long way, you know, another 3-4 inches. Let's see. Yeah, he's always there. He's overran it a little bit that time, Hawkeye, I think, JV.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit too cocky, is Hawkeye. But going back to that first chance of Barry's there, what a mistake to pot the red and cannon the second red and tie the two reds up near the top cushion. I know he's not had any table time, you lose your touch, but you cannot do that. If he knew he was going to run into that, he should have played it firmer. And that in itself was a bad mistake and left him in a position where the only red he could play for was the awkward one at the side of the cluster. But that's where it went wrong from the opening red.
Well, it's turned out to be quite a good safety shot. He's smiling to himself. He just didn't find the gap he was looking for there, but it's turned out okay. He could do with a bit of good running as we show you this. He's trying to miss that red and find the gap, and in the end it turned out to be quite a decent safety. Yeah,
and he's going through one of those times that, and we've all been through it, where you just don't seem to be able to hit the ball as you aim it. Now, whether it's because you're just sitting across it slightly, it can happen when you're sitting out most of the time. Obviously, he's got no rhythm going, and that is the thing. And I think it's fair to say now at this point that a lot of people over the last year and a half, couple of years have been saying, well, it depends which Ronnie O'Sullivan turns up. Well, the Ronnie O'Sullivan who's turned up as the last two World Championship, no one could question his application. And that's why it's very difficult for Barry at the moment. Look, he's all right, got away with it. Look where he's finished when he comes back to the table. Ronnie not giving him any space to breathe.
He's hit this much too hard. But the reds, look how the reds are situated now. So Ronnie knows if he takes yeah, that tells you if he takes this long red into the left corner, he'll have to get it. I mean, if Barry somehow could get a chance with the red sitting like this, might be able to play himself into a little bit of form. So let's see what happens here. Now then. Mind you, at first glance, there's no easy starter. I think the only potable red is the one into the right corner. I'm not sure what's available into the left. They look to be blocking each other. He's one of the best rest players I've ever seen, Barry Hawkins, and he's going to have to call on that prowess now. That tells you, I mean, I've seen him miss very few shots with the rest, but it's just the situation that's caused that.
Thank you.
He knows the way the reds are. It's not easy to get onto a colour, and the pressure on that pot was just too much because he knew he was sticking Ronnie in. And Barry knows only too well if Ronnie gets this positional shot correct to start with, he can get onto the black for the same pocket.
One.
He didn't play to cannon the red, that's for sure, but he'll take that. He was just playing to miss that red and get nicely on the black, but the cannon has worked out okay. It'll need a delicate little cannon here to keep the white in amongst the reds. As John alluded to in one of the earlier frames, with this type of shot, with screw, the easier you hit it, the more angle you can make. He's not quite sure if he can hold for the middle of the three reds there that are in a line, if he could catch the middle one, but he couldn't. He had to play the other and just... If this one goes in the right corner, he's okay. If it doesn't, he's out of position.
8.
It's amazing. You can put the white right in amongst the reds and you're not on a pot. The only possible pot is the one up into the corner, and he's right on top of that. Well, this is tough to judge because he's quite close to it. Oh, he's got it.
Yes, as we're showing you in that super slow, good clean strike of the ball. Well, a little bit straight on
15.
this red, maybe. Just got to force it this side of the baulk line to be on a baulk colour. Oh, just enough angle to do that. In fact, that good an
60.
angle, he was able to play for the blue and played it inch perfect. Great chance now for Ronnie. You'd be very surprised if he didn't get enough to get to the snooker's required stage, the way the reds are spread. Black available into both corners, and he'd love to get on that red just to the left of the black sooner rather than later. And then that just clears a path from both sides of the table to get on the black. And I would suggest very, very worrying times for Barry Hawkins, this. He was looking for a good start this morning.
29.
He's not got it. There'll be a mid-session interval after this
30.
frame. I know he does a lot with Terry Griffiths. Terry will have to work some magic.
Because if Ronnie goes on to win this frame, it'll be 9 frames in a row.
37.
Like Barry
38.
Hawkins has only managed to score 9 points this morning because he's had very little chance. He's let that one slip. That will annoy him slightly.
45.
I don't think it's in line for the pocket, the plant, but because he played such a poor positional shot, he might take it on. He did, and it's there.
46.
And of course, that's the difference. Ronnie playing with all the freedom that you can go for anything. Barry Hawkins has not got that luxury.
I mean, if he can go on to win this
50.
match quite comfortably, Ronnie, and it looks like he's going to do that. I'm just thinking the other semi-final, Mark Selby and Neil Robertson, they're going to have such a battle, and he's certainly going to be fresher than his opponent will be, but there's still a long way to go, but he's certainly on his way. Into the final is the defending champion.
54.
Just a quick glance at the scoreboard. Well, there you go. Balls potted this session. 100, well, 101 now, Ronnie. Just 5, Barry Hawkins. One-sided or what?
59.
But that's the nature of snooker. And he had a couple of chances early on this morning, Barry. He wasn't able to make them count.
60.
And then before you know where you are, particularly with a talent like Ronnie O'Sullivan, before you know where you are, the first 4 frames are over and you've lost them. So now 51 points the lead, 67 remaining.
65.
Red, colour red required.
66.
If he's straight on this pink, it's not a formality. After the pink, pink will put him 58 points in front, 59 remaining. Couldn't be straighter. The next red is not a certainty.
Just reckoning the score up, it doesn't give you the running total. You've got to work it out yourself, and sometimes, especially early in the morning, sometimes your brain's a little bit scrambled.
I don't know about you, Dennis, this early in the morning I had a problem seeing the scoreboard.
72.
Just the red needed.
And there is that red that John mentioned.
73.
I mean, he's brilliant with his right hand. He's brilliant with his left hand. And he's not too
78.
shabby with the rest. There's not many weaknesses.
Yeah, I'm always
79.
amazed how good he is with the rest, because as you say, he doesn't use it often, does he? Well, he's okay. He didn't expect the cannon, but he's just about on this red.
87.
Possible back-to-back centuries. He's on fire is the rocket.
$93. 94.
In fact, he'll go ahead of Neil Robertson. This will be his 9th century.
Well, it is absolute pleasure to watch. It really is. You feel for Barry Hawkins,
103.
but it's just tremendous snooker. And not only the potting and the break building, the safety, the match play side of it. That's what's really put lots of pressure on Barry Hawkins. Well, the brown doesn't go in, but that won't matter to Ronnie. He'll be going back to the dressing room. Disappointment once again for Barry Hawkins. The rocket got a skip in his step. He's won all 4 frames and now leads by 10 frames to 2.